my guests this morning, Dr. Ronald and Dr. Blake Livingston. How are you, gentlemen?
Good.
We're
Good
doing
morning.
wonderful. Good morning. Good morning.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's good to be seen,
Good
as
to
they
be
say.
seen.
right.
That's
You
right.
know,
Better
because
seen and viewed.
everybody didn't wake up this morning.
That's right. And unfortunately, I hate to hear about Michelle. She's a wonderful lady, and our condolences also to her and her family.
Yep.
She's a beautiful person,
Beautiful person, beautiful
very
person.
professional.
So, you're located right here in Highland Park, and I know all of you have seen the commercials. If your teeth aren't becoming to you,
Then you should be coming to us.
absolutely, you
People
should.
come up to us and say that. And I'm like, where'd
What?
you get that from?
People have been saying that.
Yeah.
Saying that to us.
Well, it shows we're playing the commercial
That's
too.
right.
That's
That's
right.
It shows we are. But you know, a lot of people kind of put off their teeth until it's a little too late.
That's correct. That's correct. I always joke with patients. I mean, it's like people don't like the police and they don't like the dentist, but when you need them, you need them.
Right, absolutely.
So, so you should appreciate them before you need them.
Right, because what should be the first sign that you need a dentist?
That you have teeth.
That's
That's the first sign.
That's a good
That's
answer.
the first sign. That's like,
Point.
if you're alive, you need to go to your medical doctor once a year at least to get a physical. As if you have,
Or you have eyes.
or you
need
have
to go
eyes, you need
get
to
your-
go to the eye doctor because your teeth, if you neglect them, if you don't go to the dentist, a lot of dental problems are they don't hurt until it's too late.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Really? So
Right.
you're saying not to wait till the tooth aches?
Correct.
Well, it's
But
just
how
like
do you know?
it's just like a lot of diseases. By the time the disease manifests itself and you have symptoms, you're in trouble. You look at people who have different types of cancers and that type of thing. They're stage 1, 2, 3, and 4. You don't want to wait till it's stage 4, and now you're going to go seek treatment. So you want to get that at one. Things that are preventative, you can prevent problems. So that's what you want to do.
For example, quite often, the two most common things that we deal with are cavities and gum disease. Okay, cavities, you might not feel anything, and then all of a sudden your tooth is starting to hurt. That means the decay has reached the nerve of the tooth, and that means you're probably going to need a root canal or have to get that tooth taken out.
Do you do root canals?
We do. We're general dentists, so we do a little bit of everything. Okay, now there are specialists who do root
Oral
canals,
surgery.
endodontists do root canals, oral surgeons take teeth out, and sometimes cases
You
are
take teeth out.
right. Yeah, we do everything.
But what we do, like say impacted wisdom teeth, that type of thing, we refer that out to oral surgeons. A lot of times patients want to
Because
be
that's
put.
surgery.
Well, I mean, all extractions are surgery, but some of them are more complicated than others and require sedation and that type of thing. So we make it what's most comfortable for the patient. We also, if we ever refer a patient to a specialist, what a lot of people like is that we just don't give them a slip of paper and say call them. We do all the legwork. We make all the phone calls. We set it up. We take care of it for them. We run the interference on the insurance for them. So patients aren't neglected. We see people all the time, and they'll have a problem that was long-standing. We'll ask them, what happened? Well, I went to the dentist 2 years ago, and he just told me to go see this guy, and I didn't know what to do. So we lead people by the hand and make sure that their care is taken care of all the way through.
Well, that's appreciated. I remember one year I had a abscess back here on, I guess it's a wisdom tooth, if it's all the way back.
Right, very last one.
And my face started swelling up.
It'll do that.
Why is the swelling? Why does that happen?
Well, what's happening is the bacteria that has made its way through the nerve canal in the tooth is down in the bone. Okay, and that bacteria received optimal environment, to multiply. So that bacteria is multiplying, and it's looking for a route to escape, and it can't find one, so it just blows up in the tissue and causes swelling.
Yeah, I ended up going to an oral surgeon or something.
And then that swelling also, a lot of that is the pus that accumulates, which is actually the white blood cells that have come in there to attack the infection. So pus is the accumulation of the white blood cells also.
Too deep for me. Well, Obamacare, well, I call it the Affordable Care Act as to segue.
Okay.
The Affordable Care Act is around right now.
Correct.
Do you think that that will be repealed by the...
Well, I'll put it this way. If they repeal it, there will be people with torches in the streets. It'll be a chaos because there's so many millions of people who previously, and we see this every day, didn't have medical insurance and they're adults their entire adult life. Now they have it and they are able to treat themselves and treat their families. That's a blessing. And anybody who does not think that people should have health care, I think they should go get some health care, mental health care. Because everybody should have the opportunity to see their doctor and have their health taken care of.
To add on to what you asked and what he's saying, I don't think that Affordable Care Act will be repealed, despite who is the next president or Congress or anything like that. But a large majority of the patients that we're seeing are a footnote to the Affordable Care Act, which is Medicaid expansion. Medicaid expansion has provided people with what's called the Healthy Michigan Plan in the state of Michigan.
I'm trying to understand that.
Yeah.
Can you tell us?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So Obamacare provides the exchange for health care, and you have to make a certain amount of money to qualify for the health care exchange. If you make
or not make a certain.
Well, if you make under that amount of money, then you are qualified for the Medicaid expansion, the Healthy Michigan Plan. Okay, and if you make over a certain amount of money and under a certain amount of money, there's a little window there that you are eligible for Healthy Michigan Plan. If you enroll in Healthy Michigan Plan, you get health insurance.
How do we do that?
Well, I have the number right here.
Oh.
If you have questions about Healthy Michigan Plan, and you can call, well, here's the number for the dental. Okay. Delta Dental is 1-866-558-0280, and that number can help you find out information about the Healthy Michigan Plan. That's the dental number, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you belong into what are that? Molina, what are those highlighted ones?
Meridian Total Health Care, Molina Health Care, Priority Health Choice, Health Plus Partners, Midwest Health Plan, McLaren Health Plan, all those have Delta Dental attached with them. Now, some of the other health plans have Blue Cross Complete. There's also Harbor Health Care. All of these are part of the Healthy Michigan Plan, which is Medicaid expansion. Now, if there's a Republican president in 2016, this stuff might go away because this is federal money.
Right.
Medicaid expansion is federal money that states' governors had to decide to accept or reject. And
if that we have to really give credit to Governor Snyder here. He deserves a pat on the back because he's a Republican governor. He didn't have to do this.
Right.
There's
right.
only
he didn't have to do
Bobby
this.
Jindal didn't
No,
do it.
None of the Republican
Rick
governors.
Perry, Texas has millions of people that are uninsured. So does Louisiana, and most of the states that, like 99% of the states that didn't take the Medicaid expansion are Republican governors, and the rest of them are Democrats, and they took it. Now everybody has health care under the states that have Democratic governors, except for a few like Michigan with Rick Snyder. He did a good job. He deserves a pat on the back for that.
The only states that with Republican governors that accepted the Medicaid expansion were Michigan, I believe, Indiana, and then Arkansas. But the only reason Arkansas, they had a Democratic governor, and then they had elections, and now they have a Republican governor, and he said, I'm not gonna cancel this because there's so many people that are receiving care.
And ironically, Ted Cruz, who announced that he wants to be president and as a member of the Tea Party, now he has to get Obamacare because his wife quit her job to join his campaign. They lost their medical insurance, so now he has to go on exchange and get Obamacare.
Yeah, I heard that.
He filibustered against it and everything else. So
I heard that.
what goes around comes around, I guess.
I know, but he still says
he's
whatever.
Well, I mean, he wasn't born in the United States anyway.
So this is how Obamacare. I hate calling it Obamacare.
Well, I like to call it Obamacare because in 10 years from now, historically, when it becomes a success like Social Security, then President Obama will get the credit. I bet Roosevelt wishes he would have called Social Security Roosevelt Care, because he would go on and it would be known as Roosevelt Care. So Obamacare, I like that because that's given due credit historically to the African American president who made it possible for millions of people to have health care.
I always remember he said, "I do care,"
Right.
that time.
Right. And so I think I hear what you're saying, but I like to call it Obamacare because he deserves
because
all the credit in the world.
The Tea Party named it that.
Right, but
that's okay.
It backfired on him
Yeah,
again.
that's okay.
Backfired on him again.
Now, the Healthy Michigan Plan, honestly, I've only been practicing dentistry for about 5 years, and I've seen the effects of Medicaid. When they cut Medicaid in 07, 08 for adults, I was in dental school at Detroit Mercy, and all of a sudden our patient pool dropped dramatically because people couldn't come in to see the dentist, and it affected dental students trying to achieve their requirements to graduate. But Healthy Michigan Plan and Medicaid expansion, I have to say, has been one of the most, you know, positive things that's happened in healthcare in the state of Michigan that I know of.
Right.
It's provided access to care, health, dental, vision for, I believe Healthy Michigan has supplied over 250,000 people in Wayne County with health care, okay, or
Wow.
Metro Detroit with
Metro.
health care, and over 500,000 in the state of Michigan.
And it's a smart thing because in the past, and everybody knows somebody who, when they had a toothache or an infection or an abscess, they went to the emergency room. You go to the emergency room, if you walk in the door, it's $500 before they even touch you. And if they do touch you and give you a prescription, send you on your way, you're looking at least $1,000. So the state is losing money by not providing adequate dental care. I mean, dental care is health care. For some reason, you know, health care starts from your eyes up and from your chin down. But dental care is not included in that. But your mouth is the most important part of your digestive system.
And we'll talk about that.
Right.
Well, have the GM and Chrysler retirees received their benefits back yet?
Yeah, they have. As of
they have?
Yes, as of January 1st, 2015, GM and Chrysler retirees have received their benefits back, and they're at the same level that they were back in 07 when they were cut.
And that means that their co-payments for everything except dentures and partials is covered at either 90 or 100%.
Really?
They get $1,700
Oh,
a year.
God.
Right? They get $1,700 a year, and they only have to pay 10% or no percent for most procedures, except dentures and partials. They would pay 50% and fixed bridges. But the overwhelming majority of their procedures are covered at 90%, like they used to be when they were working. So that's also a great thing. Now I wanted to mention too about that in terms of copays. The blessing too with the Healthy Michigan plan under Delta, there's no copayments. There's zero copayments. Patients get dentures, partials, cleanings, fillings, and it costs them zero out of their pocket. That is why you have to take advantage of that, because if it's not around here forever and they take it away at some point in the future, then your problem will still be there and you could have had it addressed and you
For free.
missed it. Yeah, for free. Literally for free. Zero copayment. That's unheard of. And it's the same Delta dental plan like Chrysler and GM and other employees get.
Wow.
So Healthy Michigan is
So
something.
they are good. This is great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is
Because-
truly, like I said, one of the biggest advancements in healthcare, public health in the state of Michigan that I didn't even recall.
Now, not all dental offices are signed up for Healthy Michigan plan either. So it's not universal to all. Offices have to select to take it, and we've taken it since the beginning, and we see it every day. But everybody doesn't take Healthy Michigan plan.
But what I've seen with the Healthy Michigan and with the reinstatement of the GM and Chrysler retirees is that we're getting a lot of people who haven't seen the dentist since, for the GM and Chrysler retirees, haven't gone to the dentist since 07, since it was cut, because what they were covering was so limited. And then for the Healthy Michigan, I'm seeing people haven't been to the dentist since before I was alive.
Literally.
Literally.
Yeah.
70s, early 80s,
Right.
60s. People who haven't been to the dentist since they were in elementary school, because now they have coverage and they know that it's not going to cost them an arm and a leg.
Do we have a call? Oh, I think we do in a minute. Well, I just think that they must not have had a toothache, because a toothache is the worst thing you could ever have. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I
Well-
said, what the past procedure would be that the person would go to the emergency room. They would get an antibiotic. They would get a pain medication. It would go away for a couple weeks, but it would come roaring back. So they'd have to eventually get it taken care of the proper way.
wow, that's amazing. We have someone on the line. Good morning. Hello?
Is that Rick?
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Yes.
We can hear
Oh,
you now.
okay. I want to find out about that Avisis insurance I've been hearing about. Tell me about that, because they tell some of the dentists I've spoke to tell me it's very bad.
Which insurance is that? Could you repeat that?
Avisis. I believe it's something like AVESIS, and it is offered by Milena Plus.
Oh, okay.
Avisis, I'm not familiar with, but I know that a lot of the dental plans that are advertised heavily are actually more of a discount plan. I'm not sure.
This one comes from Milena. It's an actual Medicaid one.
Okay. Now that's a good question. Now, when you have Molina, as I understand it, or any of the other plans that have Healthy Michigan plan, you can select the dental plan you want. So it's about selection of which plan you want. Now, the one that we take is the Delta dental plan, and we have no problems with that. That's the only one we do take. We've kind of investigated some of the other ones, and that works out best, we think, for the patients and for us. So you probably can go ahead and switch your dental to one of the other plans. I say Delta being a number one with us, but you can probably switch that. Keep your medical probably, and just call whoever is handling that medical insurance, that Molina for you, and tell them that you want to switch out of the dental plan.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And you can still probably keep that same medical if you're happy with your medical doctor. If you're happy with your doctor, you
Right,
can keep your doctor.
Yeah, that's simple.
But if you want to switch out of that dental, go to Delta or one of the other plans, I'm sure you'll be able to
Okay.
do that.
All right. Thank you.
Okay,
Yep,
thank
no
you.
problem.
Thanks.
I ain't been over there in a long time in Highland Park. I got to come back.
Well-
You pulled one of my first teeth 30
All right.
years ago.
All right. All right. Well, welcome back. We'll be glad to see you.
Come on back.
Give us a call.
All right.
But that was
Bye.
that was a good question to show us how informative the information that gets out to the community that people need to have. They need to hear. They want to hear the good stuff and they want to have fun. But in terms of healthcare, we're really behind. If you see all the statistics, we are at the bottom rung in terms of getting treatments for any type of medical situation. So we need to correct
You know,
that.
and I see so many commercials on television about this plan, that plan, that
Right.
plan.
It's confusing.
It's marketing.
Yeah,
It's
It is,
marketing.
and it's heavy marketing can lead you to believe that one thing is better than the other, when in reality that's not the truth. And that's good to have an open line of communication with your dentist or doctor if you have questions about things like that. And we tell patients all the time, you know, when enrollment period comes around for certain employers, October, November, we tell them, give us a call if you have a question. We'll tell you which plan is the best, and we'll give you the most bang for your buck.
Wow. Well, we know that dentists can see other health problems.
That's right.
Other than teeth. Can you explain that to my audience?
Sure. I don't know if it's Michigan Dental Association, American Dental Association, but they run a campaign right now where they're talking about people going to the dentist and identifying other illnesses. And the main one that we see is diabetes.
How can you tell?
Diabetes is a disease of inflammation, and what we see is when patients have come in and they have no gum disease, and then 6 months later they come in and they have rampant gum disease, then we know that something is up. Okay, typically with diabetes you also have higher blood sugar, and that amount of that sugar also increases in your saliva and in the secretions in the mouth, and that causes increased plaque buildup, which causes increased inflammation, increased bleeding, increased bone loss, which is a sign of gum disease.
Severe delayed healing. We'll give you an example. We had about a couple months ago, patient had multiple extractions done. We're gonna see him back in a couple weeks. Check on him, see if he's ready to get impressions for dentures or partials or whatever he was getting. And when we looked in there, it was like we took out the teeth the day before, and he had zero healing. And we questioned him further, and he admitted that he was a diabetic, and he didn't want to admit it because he wasn't taking care of it, and he was also a smoker. So it delays the healing process. When we look in there, you know, alarm bells go off with us with why is this not healing? Why does this look the way it looks? Or we'll see a patient who may have a minimal amount of plaque on their teeth, but they have severe gum inflammation and bleeding and puffiness because they're not healing. And it's the same thing when they get sores on their feet or any sore that won't heal in a diabetic. It applies to the mouth also. And of course, the big three we see every day is high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease.
Now, heart disease. How do you tell about the heart disease?
Well, really, we can't identify heart disease directly from the mouth, but what studies have shown is that there is a direct link between heart disease and gum disease, just like there is
There's
with
some
diabetes and gum disease.
abnormalities?
No, you can't detect it in the mouth.
No,
Okay.
but you can see chronic inflammation in the oral cavity can cause chronic inflammation and inflammation of blood vessels, in the small blood vessels and other organs in the body. So we know that if you have gum disease, your body is trying to fight that gum disease every single day. It's always on guard. There's always a battle there. So it keeps the immune system hyped up and always attacking a problem. So it'll also do that in other parts of the body. So we see that we want to eliminate that you have inflammation and infections in the mouth so that it don't spread to other areas of the body. Now, it also used to be, we've kind of changed that a little bit. Now it's if patients had prior heart problems and heart infections and valve replacements, we had to, before we could do anything, pre-medicate that patient with amoxicillin, 2 grams of amoxicillin an hour before, if we're going to extract a tooth or do anything that involves any type of bleeding or injections. They've kind of gotten away from that now
And
because of the
also,
antibiotics.
if a
But
patient has had a hip
hip
replacement,
replacement,
or they
knee replacement.
have to have that antibiotic
Correct.
prior.
Very good. Right. That's right. That's right. We have to have that, and we'll get your patient will come in with a letter from their orthopedic surgeon, and it's usually for 2 years after that hip replacement or knee replacement, and sometimes even if they've had multiple screws placed in bone surgeries. So that's
So
very
it's just
important.
for 2 years?
Just for
Basically
2
for 2
years.
years.
The reason it's just for 2 years is because we want to prevent any bacteria that gets into the bloodstream while doing dental work from reaching that joint replacement. And after 2 years, that joint replacement is totally encapsulated in cartilage, so blood doesn't get to it. So
Right.
we don't have to worry about that.
But
anymore.
also too, you can assume though, even if you don't go to the dentist and you have active gum disease, you're getting that bacteria in your bloodstream anyway. So
Yeah.
you're really running a risk by, if you've had these type of surgical procedures, if you have gum inflammation and gum infections, they can jeopardize other surgeries that you've had where you've had prosthetic parts placed in your
Well,
body.
I want to talk cosmetics real quick.
Sure.
Being a performer, and then my next guest is a performer, I know that people are always looking at your teeth. When you perform, they look at you from head to toe, and if your mouth isn't right, people, I don't know, people are like that. They notice everything.
Well, you know, it's like in your profession and in your business, you know, the first thing when you meet a person and you get that handshake, you look at that smile. And sometimes you only get one chance to make a first impression. So a lot of times that is very important, fair or not. But it is what it is. That's the way we've been groomed. That's the way society is. But your smile is very important. Cosmetically, I mean, you know, guys want to smile at these pretty ladies, so you
Well,
got
let
that.
me ask one more question that kind of goes with that. Some people still have their silver fillings.
Correct.
So, what are they any good? What was it? What was it? What were
Well,
those fillings?
I have silver fillings also. My wife does.
You still have them?
Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with them. There's a lot of hype out there and a lot of propaganda and internet science.
I blame Dr. Oz.
Yeah,
Also.
internet science out there that's not real science. If there was such a problem, then I would get mine out. You know, I joke with the patients. I says, when the dentists start removing their fillings, you start removing yours. Now, if he's not removing his, why is he going to tell you to remove yours? Now, that's not to say that if you are lose a filling or a filling needs to be replaced, and you want to go with a cosmetic, a white filling, nowadays with the technology and materials, yeah, that's fine. But to willy-nilly just get your fillings out, no.
Well, we have a call on the line. I believe it's Michael. Good morning.
Good morning.
morning.
How are you?
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I was wondering, you have dental work done at another dentist, such as maybe dentures made at another dentist's office, and they're not fitting properly. Do you repair dentures
We do
or adjust them?
yeah, we do repair dentures. Usually, if you've had a denture made by any dentist, basically we accept the fact that that dentist has to take care of that denture for 6 months. That's the general rule. After that, if you want to go get other things done and have somebody else check it out, that's generally accepted. As opposed to, like I say, patients will get a denture and they'll have it made and they'll wear it a week and then they'll say, well, it was over here. Can you guys do something with it? Well, we really can't do that because now it becomes our denture, and we didn't,
Oh,
you know. So
okay.
that's where things get sticky. But after about 6 months, you know, then things like, you know, then it's kind of out of their hands, and then you can, it's okay to do that. But we see that all the time, and we can see a situation where, and I'm not saying it was wrong or whatever. It might be a different way than we would have done it, but we can't go in there and start manipulating things and doing things, and we didn't actually make the denture. That's why we get patients sometimes and they'll say, hey, I went over here and this happened and that happened. Can you guys do this and do that? Write a letter or do it? No, we can't. We never saw the before. So we don't know what's going on there. If we've seen it before and you were our patient of record and then, you know, you came back, that's a little bit different. But, you know, basically, you know, there's a little line there that's drawn on that kind of thing.
Well, gentlemen, I need you to...
Second question was,
Sure.
the dentists that deal with Molina, do they have to use the same materials to make their dentures?
Now that's an excellent question. The ones like the under the Healthy Michigan plan, like with Delta that we have, everybody gets the same thing. You know, I don't have time or the energy or inclination to you get this one and you get that one. I don't. Everybody gets the same one, which is the best one. I always joke with people: there's no such thing as cheap teeth. They have to look good, feel good, and chew good. So for me to use a lesser quality or something, and then the patient's not happy, that doesn't work for me. So there's no advantage to me to give people different levels of quality of materials or service. It doesn't matter if you're a patient. You're a patient. I don't. We use the same for everybody.
Now, are you required? I don't believe that there's.
I don't believe so.
requirement.
Now, what you may come across, and I've heard this and seen this, is that the reimbursement levels that doctors will get from different insurances may be lower with different insurances, and so they may have different levels of good, high, low, and medium type of denture, or economy denture as they call it. But we don't. Yeah, but we don't believe in that. Everybody gets the same denture. If you come in and you've got the best insurance in the world, or if you have any other type of insurance, everybody's getting the same denture. We don't.
So the price of $700 for the Molina dentures, is that basically the price, $700?
No, you really can't, kind of go do a fee thing. That's kind of a price fixing type situation. I mean, to a patient, we can discuss that one-on-one with patients, but in terms of fees and cost, it's not something we can really discuss over the air. But to a patient, we could go over all that kind of stuff.
Michael, check
Well,
it.
it would be 6 months for me in June.
Okay.
And my problem is one side closes down and the other side doesn't close all the way.
Okay.
It's like a crooked smile. I've been back 3 times to get it corrected, and it's still not right. That's why I wanted to change dentists.
Well,
Do I have to wait 6 months?
Well, in terms of a denture, there's usually a 5-year limit on dentures and partials before they'll pay for a new set. So once you get that, it'll be a 5-year limit before they'll replace them. Usually what we do in most cases with dentures and some partials is that we do what's called a try-in first, where we'll set the teeth, have the patient look at it, we check it before it's finished. They give us a thumbs up. We say it's okay. They say it's okay. They check everything. We give them the mirror. We leave the room, and we answer any questions, and then we take care. We don't finish it until we do a try and let them see it. Okay. So that's what we like
that was
to do.
the mistake that I made by accepting them when they first brought them to me. It was crooked then, and I accepted it. I guess I was so happy to get them.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Sometimes that happens.
Well, Michael, it comes to the end of our segment, but they'll be back next week.
We'll be back next week.
They'll be back next week, and we can kind of think about it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for the question.
Thank you so much, Michael.
You have a blessed day.
Yes, and thank you all. There was still so much more.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why I'm glad you'll be back next week.
This is always fun.
Yes, because
give out our phone number.
Oh, yes, our phone number. Of course, you see their commercials all day.
If you want to reach us, our phone number is 313-883-3050. There's people there now to answer the phone.
Someone's in the office.
That's right. And our website is www.livingstondentistry.com. And we're located in Highland Park at 13724 Woodward, 2 blocks north of the Davison.
And a beautiful office. Beautiful.
Yeah, you can check our website. You can see our office. You can see our staff. You can see everything. If I can say one more real quick, my office manager, LG Robinson, has been with me for 30 years, and she's retiring on the 31st.
Wow.
So I want to just shout out and say how much she's been wonderful to me and my family, and we love her. So
I love her too.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Well, we'll be back in just a moment. Thank you all so much.